Welcome back, YouTubers, to another TNA Impact Wrestling review with us, none other than the British Fist, Mr. Parkin here with my V-neck England shirt on, and this guy sitting next to me in a plain, very attractive brown t-shirt. It's none other than NJ, people.
What's up?
Subscribe or above, like this video if you will, and comment your thoughts on this week's edition of TNA Impact Wrestling Open Fight Night down in the comment section below.
Make sure you contact anyone you see in our review in the link in the description box below.
Yes, and that includes that Terminator NJ that's standing over there. But yeah, you can contact him on Twitter and Facebook, and he now also has a YouTube as well. I'm really interested to see what he's going to do next on that YouTube.
He's definitely gave us a warning that something's coming, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, it's 9, 16, 12 wasn't enough. We're getting some more stuff. So we had Open Fight Night this week on TNA Impact Wrestling. The Open Fight Night going into, that's like the Wade Barrett style there. Open Fight Night going into Bound for Glory. Start off with, I guess, the opener. We open up with AJ and Angle saying that they want to know who the real #1 contenders are, and they call out Chavo and Hernandez for a tag match. Was nice for the show to start off with a match. Really, and the match was actually pretty good. It was a nice way to open the show, I thought.
And the way they set this up was quite nicely done. Like, you had Angle talking about why this match is happening, how AJ did all this, made this possible, and how they really brought this match alive. And I thought it was nicely done. Angle said that we're going to prove that we're the real #1 contenders. They've really set this up, and the match fitted really well with the match we're getting at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, because you had Kaz and Daniels on the stage. You were kind of looking on like, yeah, we'll let these two tear into each other a little bit. And the match got a nice amount of time, and it was actually a pretty decent match in my opinion. And then you had Daniels and Kaz coming in to cause the DQ to attack on AJ and Chavo.
That's the thing, because with Chavo getting a 15-minute match with Angle and AJ was a very good thing for him. A newcomer into TNA doing all this, doing that. Very nicely done, gave Chavo a good match. And also the attack, it's just basically Kaz and Daniel saying, we're better than our #1 contenders. We're going to take you out and prove that to you. So I thought this match, opening this show, was very nicely done.
It was a very strong opener, and it accomplished everything it needed to do. They even had Hogan come out afterwards, announced that it's going to be a triple threat tag match for the pay-per-view. I thought that was already implied, but I guess it's nice to know that it's now officially announced, a triple threat tag match for Bound for Glory between these three teams now.
And the thing is, as well as Hogan announcing that for the pay-per-view, he was also holding a base back, which obviously brings in the Ace and Eights, showing how fierce they are. He has to be careful at all times. This opening was very nicely done.
Indeed.
Worthless mortals, let me tell you this. By the end of tonight, I promise you, one of you will be feeling my wrath. Beware, worthless mortals.
Okay, what the fuck is he going to do now? Hope it's nothing to do with us.
I don't know what he's thinking, but he always makes us think ahead, so we'll have to go through this review as normal as we can.
Kind of like the Aces and Eights do. But yeah, we'll continue this review as normal. We had a backstage segment with Al Snow, hyping up this thing with Joey Ryan, saying he was going to the principal's office about what happened the go-home show to No Surrender when he slapped him in his face.
Well, the thing I like about this is that first they talk about this newcomer coming, the new gut check guy, and then the one who's interviewing him mentions Joey Ryan, and you can see the expression on Al Snow's face go, why are we talking about this? Then you can actually see that the Joey Ryan and Al Snow thing is definitely building where Al Snow just cannot be serious about Joey Ryan.
And they built this up over a number of months now, which is good. I just wonder if it will be at Bound for Glory or whether it will be on a TV episode. I hope they do have it at Bound for Glory, though, because it has got a Bound for Glory feel, in my opinion, the way they built it up over the last sort of 5 or so months.
Well, the two ways I see it is have it before Bound for Glory and then give Joey Ryan a proper wrestler opponent at the pay-per-view, which would be a nice way, or continue building this up for Bound for Glory. There's two ways I would do this and be quite happy either way.
Especially seeing as they're going to have loads of people involved in an Aces and Eights storyline, so they're going to need to fill the card up a little bit. You'd think that this would be a good way to fill the card. We then had the gut check segment itself. Evan Markoupoulos versus Doug Williams. Your initial thoughts on this 18-year-old Evan Markoupoulos going into this match?
Well, they had Al Snow put him over. Really nicely done there. The video package, which was, again, family-related, which you can expect. Showed how he progressed to this. So in a way, I was kind of warmed up to this, thinking he's got an okay look for this. I'm expecting somewhat of a good match from him. and then the match came.
Yeah, and it's a shame that we didn't really get to see too much of him. It was mainly Doug Williams on the offense. But to be honest with you, the guy's 18. I mean, if they don't sign him now, he's going to have a hell of a future, isn't he? If he's 18 and he's already kind of at the level where he can be on TNA, on mainstream television, essentially.
That's the thing, because without all the guys we've had recently, this one, even though he didn't, as you said, didn't get much offense, he still looks like a guy that I wouldn't mind seeing coming back.
Yeah, I mean, at some point in the future, maybe 5 years, could play a part in the X Division for all we know. So the crowd really liked him, though, didn't they? They were all for Markopoulos. They were really chanting. They were chanting his name at some points, and that's a good sign. The fact that he can get over with the crowd so easily.
And it's just that the only problem I have with him, apart from his opponent, and he didn't really get much offense in, is I've got to try and pronounce his name every week when he does come onto the show.
Markopoulos. Eventually it'll sound like something different, like my Kia gonna kiss or something like I don't know. But we'll move on to the next segment. Try saying Markopoulos 10 times as fast as you can, guys. It's very hard. James Storm, as advertised before, called out Bobby Roode. So he calls out Bobby Roode, and Roode comes out in his suit saying that he's not prepared, even though it was announced last week he was going to do it. And he says it's over between them. Yeah, because you don't have a feud going into Bound for Glory.
The thing about Bobby Roode's promos, I'm thinking they're starting to slip up a little bit, and he's going back towards the chicken heel thing that he was moving away from. But now he's going back to it. So in a way, I think that's a bit sad, especially when he's going up against his tag team partner, which I thought would be pretty strongly good on mic versus good on mic. So I was a bit disappointed with this, and then the fight.
I mean, he went backstage first, didn't he? And Hogan says that you're going to get back in that ring, brother, or else you're not going to get paid or your title shots, brother. So we get this sequence where they end up getting back in the ring. A bit of bad coat there, NJ. Yeah, they get back in the ring, and they brawl around the arena. And at the time, it's like, okay, they're brawling. Okay, let's let this go for a couple of minutes. But it went about really long, and it got to the point where I was like, how much of this do you want to give away on free TV? A brawl would be alright if it was a couple of minutes, but it went way too long, and it just lost its impact after the 10 minutes.
Don't you? TNA, I know these is another big part of Bound for Glory, this thing that you've been building up to, and they're still your top guys, but you don't really need to prove that they hate you this much by dragging this on. But now we'll go to the main... No, there's more to the show.
There is definitely more to the show, NJ.
Yes, got it one. You right, mate? We going out later?
What's he doing? What's he doing to my friend?
999.
They had a backstage segment which hyped up what we felt would be the main event of the time, as Austin Aries versus Jeff Hardy is going to be the main event of Bound for Glory. You had Aries. Seemed like he was really putting over Jeff Hardy in that backstage segment, didn't he? And talking about how he wants to cement his position as a guy who can do anything that Hardy will. So we kind of got the feeling that he would end up calling out Bully Ray in the main event, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah, they did tease this by saying, like, I want to be where you're at. You've done all this great stuff in your career. So they've really, in a way, said that Aries wants to be where Jeff Hardy is, but then Jeff Hardy says he wants to be where Aries is, so it hyped up the match.
Open your freaking eyes! You're not Jeff Hardy. But anyway, then we get to the knockout segment. Tara basically comes out and says the fans used her to get to her, and Brooke used her to get to the knockout championship. They're kind of they're trying to solidify this Tara heel turn now, and I must admit I do prefer Tara heel definitely, even though the heel turn could be seen as a little bit quick in some cases.
Well, seeing her the bitch not to mess with in the WWE, I wanted them to continue that into TNA, but obviously they have to change her in some way. So for her to be the heel again, I'm really enjoying this, and her look and the way she wrestles definitely gives it off. So I'm really enjoying the way they're booking her right now.
I wonder who the boyfriend is. It's not you, is it?
Yeah, I visit Hollywood a few times. I just make it here pretty quickly.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take you on that one. Basically, she gets in Chrissy Hemi's face, and I guess they were trying to go for the cheap heat here by her going after the ring announcer. She basically grabs Hemi by the face and says that, and she says Teschmacher's her favorite wrestler. And Tara's like, nah, you ain't saying that. You're saying I am your favorite wrestler, bitch.
The thing about Chrissy, we've seen her wrestle before, even though she wasn't that great. The thing about this is, it made sense going after a weaker target, getting her heel heat, someone that Chrissy had that loads of males especially like in many ways. So for her to call her out sticks with the open fight night, sorry,
Yeah.
and also gets the heel heat. This was very nicely done, but this obviously brings up the lovely face.
Yes, and Miss Teschmacher basically comes in and saves the day. The segment was effective in what it did. It got Tara some heat. She explained why she turned heel, and they're teasing that feud further going into Bound for Glory. They even had that backstage segment with Brooke Hogan where basically it's set in stone now. It's going to be Tara versus Brooke Teschmacher at Bound for Glory now, pretty much, which I like. You also find out that next week is going to be Championship Thursday, and surprisingly enough, it's for the TV title. I mean, we haven't seen Devon in some time. I do wonder if they've agreed a contract with Devon, or whether they're going to crown a new TV champion or something next week on Championship Thursday.
The fairest way to do this is give Devon one more match. Instead of just making the belt magically taken off him without anything following up from it, it would be pretty shameful. So I think one more night, just to crown a new champion and then move on from that.
I wonder if they've agreed a contract with him, that's all. I guess we'll find out next week whether Devon's agreed a contract with TNA. We then get the segment, Hogan addressing the Aces and Eights. I'm surprised this wasn't in one of the preliminary slots, the more important slots, i.e. opener, our main event, or main event on the show, considering it was to do with Aces and Eights and how much TNA love themselves some Aces and Eights.
Well, the fact that they had Hogan and the Ace and Eights, still no Sting, which is like, where's he gone?
Yeah.
But this still should have had more importance. But I guess with the other things in the place, they needed to try and think, right, we need to know what's more important for Bound for Glory.
Semi-main event is going to be Rude versus Storm, and main event is going to be Jeff Hardy versus Aries. So those should be the two prominently featured things on the TV show right now. Earlier on in the night, we had, obviously, we thought that we were going to get some evidence from Joseph Park, but they basically teased that the Aces and Eights were going to take Joseph Park because he had the evidence, and that's exactly what they did. You then had this segment with Hogan where he went on the phone to him. It was a little bit rushed and confusing at this point because we were like, what's really going on here? And we get to the point where Hogan kind of didn't seem like he was really worried about Joseph Park that much, but there's going to be some kind of trade. Joseph Park is going to come back if they get Hogan in their clubhouse. So that should be kind of interesting. Hogan entering their clubhouse, getting a nice view of the clubhouse.
The thing about this is that, again, they're really continuing this on, building it up. I wonder if they're not going to take up Hogan again, so it has got me wondering what's going to happen. But the Joseph Park's taken out thing, I thought that was quite clever because of the whole lawyer. I'm going to get my own back on them. I'm going to help you solve this. It was a good thing to bring in for this show.
I can't believe the Aces and Eights took Joseph Park, MJ. That's low. That's low, even for the bloody Terminator. Goddamn. Hope you didn't hear me. And then you get the Aces and Eights smashing up Joseph Park's laptop. I didn't see Terminator MJ in the shot, but I'm guessing he's calling the shots from behind the camera. Is that what you think?
I think he definitely was there because obviously he's everywhere. You know, he's said that many times. He's everywhere. But the thing I noticed about this segment straight away was there was no big guy there, and the big guy could be trapped in the cage saying, "Don't hit me with the hammer! Don't hit me with the hammer!" The big guy weren't there.
Well, I just grew like a couple of inches. I wish I could do that in real life. But the segment overall, in terms of how effective it was, it didn't really reveal too much, but it gave us a kind of hook for next week. And yeah, I guess that's all we can really expect from this angle.
Well, Hogan, Joseph Parks' evidence has been destroyed, gone. Joseph Parks was scared of this Ace and Eights. He only took one hit and he was down, knocked out, a bit like Terminator NJ's hit. But the thing about this is that I felt things were missing from this.
And apparently Joseph Parker's got it all in here, but then he got smashed on his head by a hammer, so who really knows?
Well, this world was portal. We're going to be taking up a stretch now tomorrow. Let this be a warning to you worthless mortals.
If you guys wanted more proof that Jeff Hardy was going to win the belt at TNA Bound for Glory and that TNA were very much behind Jeff Hardy, well, Look at this video package, guys. It kind of tells you who TNA want to win at Bound for Glory. They even had Austin Aries acknowledge the fact that, oh, they put on this video package just before I came out. The production team just stuck it all together. Not one for me.
TNA have given us hints. Normally when they do a big video package to someone, that person's going to get something in the upcoming weeks, like Storm. So they've done it before. So I think there's a big chance that they're hinting that Jeff Hardy's going to get something big in the near future. And the next big thing coming for him is this championship match.
I guess the question is, are they doing it to try and draw ratings, or are they doing it to try and keep him there, as his contract is going to be expiring in early 2013 and they want to make him happy off on news that he wants to go to WWE to get one last run and get a lot of money and cover all his legal costs? I guess that's the one question. Move on to the main event then. Austin Aries, as we knew earlier, wanted to do what Jeff Hardy did pretty much last week, and he wanted to defeat Bully Ray. And Austin Aries versus Bully Ray, interesting little matchup here. I mean, Bully Ray is an incredibly entertaining heel. Austin Aries is an incredibly entertaining and edgy face. So.
Well, Aries has definitely picked the right opponent, because Bully Ray, even though Rude is meant to be a top heel, I think Bully Ray's in a higher place than him. So picking him of all heels and all wrestlers definitely gave us a good main event for this show.
And what a surprise, these two had a good match and it told a very good story, just like their match at Sacrifice earlier this year.
But before we get to the match, the mic work here, I tweeted this just because I felt this way. Bully Ray, the fact he interacted with the audience, the crowd, he definitely warmed this match up, said, am I hearing this? You picked to face me. Very nice done, he shut the crowd. This definitely got me really behind Bully Ray more, but obviously the focus was on Aries because he was the champion, proving stuff to everyone, even Jeff Hardy, that he can beat Bully Ray.
Yeah, and I love the fact that both Bully Ray and Austin Aries both had a pop at that fan as well. Like, it was like legitimately like pissing them both off. So that was kind of funny. It shows you really that to be a face, you don't necessarily have to have the fans like you. Sometimes you just need an edgy character. But like I said, the match itself got a good amount of time. 30 minutes was a very, very good match between the two. Told a good story as well. So I can't complain too much about this match.
It was the way it wrapped up as well, after the good match that went on for a good amount of time. Not quite as long as the opener, but this match, the way it went down, you got the referee getting in Bully Ray's face, made a joke by saying, "You're old, you suck."
You suck!
Very nicely done. And then he hits Aries with the chain on the head.
And he gets the victory. You know, my immediate reaction was, I'm not sure why they're, especially going along with storyline, why did they put Bully Ray over Aries here? I hope to God that they're not putting Bully Ray in the title matches. I don't feel it should be a triple threat match from my own personal standpoint. But the main thing that TNA needs to do here is they needed to try and generate some kind of heat between Jeff Hardy and Austin Aries, and they've started to do it in a kind of easy, simple way, I guess you could say. But Bully Ray going over here, I didn't necessarily agree with, but I guess it kind of, because the whole point of it was for Austin Aries to prove himself that he could be better than Jeff Hardy.
And that's the thing, because obviously they went through from our main event downwards that Aries was going to say, I'm going to prove to you that I'm better than you, or I can do what you can do. And it was just, it happened in a way that something blocked you from doing that. And then it led to the Hardy coming out and then the face-off between Aries and Jeff Hardy. Nice way to finish.
Yeah, I hope they don't make Bully Ray, because they had Bully Ray holding the belt up along with Jeff Hardy on a snare, and I hope they don't make Bully Ray a part of that match, because I feel it should definitely be a singles match between these two.
Well, eventually, I think Bully Ray's going to be involved more with the Ace and H eventually.
I hope so. So yeah, what were your overall thoughts on this Open Fight Night edition of TNA Impact Wrestling?
Good opener. The match between the tag was made. The knockouts was made. Good main event. Ace and 8 stuff did dominate in a few areas, but that's the only things that really stood out to me. Yeah,
I mean, for me, it was a pretty solid show. I think my only issue with it was there was a real big portion of the show where there was no wrestling. There was a lot of brawling and a lot of promo segments, and there wasn't really too much wrestling. And when that does happen, when you don't break it up enough between wrestling and promos, it does affect your viewing of it, really. You had a very good opener, a very good main event. They're setting some stuff up for Bound for Glory. I'm still waiting for that real buzz moment. I mean, I'm looking forward to Bound for Glory. I'm still waiting for that real buzz moment where they really kick it into gear, and hopefully they'll do that with the Championship Thursday next week. And Be interesting to see what they do with the Aces and Eights storyline. I mean, they must have something planned for Bound for Glory between those, like a War Games multi-man match or something.
So I think it's definitely going to keep on growing, so I expect more from the Ace and 8. It's definitely getting me hooked onto each show.
Indeed. So like we said in the introduction of the video, put your thoughts and comments on this Impact Wrestling edition in that comment section below, and I will now hand you over to NJ, who will provide us a very fitting outro to this video.
Alright, assholes, from Mr. Parkin, me NJ, Terminator NJ, all I can say, people, is thank you very much, and tune in for our SmackDown, which hopefully will be good. Till next time, YouTubers, goodbye. We should do that again sometime. Till next time, YouTubers, beware!